Hello and welcome to this session of Struggle, where you'll learn that your audience is more interested in the choices, the decisions and the results that you describe than they are in the problem and the ending. Let's just have a look at this problem and ending. Once you know the problem, for instance, if somebody's going to destroy the earth, or if Sherlock Holmes is going to find the killer or not going to find him, or who's going to win the big fight, you pretty much can guess the ending. So it's not the problem and the ending that get the interest, but the choices, the how. For instance, if a young man wanted to buy an engagement ring for his fiancée but didn't have the money, he'd have choices. He could rob a bank or get a part-time job or a bank loan. So those could be his choices. But what decision did he take? In this case, let's pretend it was getting a part-time job. And as a result of that, he got the money, he got the engagement ring, and then the happy ending of the marriage. Once we knew the problem, it was the how, the choices, the decision, the result that we were interested in. Why is this? For years, millions of years, our brain has been very good at considering choices and making decisions and getting results. Let's go back those millions of years. The choices for the first man, when there were only a few humans on the earth, and he had no words and no language and nobody to consult with, were to experiment. If he was hungry, he had the choice. He could have red berries, blueberries. He had to make a decision. In this case, he chose the red berries. What was the result? He got tummy ache, so he learned pretty quickly to avoid the red ones, and probably the blue ones were the choices you'd make to survive. As time went on and the millions of years progressed, there were more human beings on Earth. Early man realized he wasn't alone and learnt something else. He learnt that if he waited and watched other human beings and how they experimented and the decisions they made, the result would help him survive. If they were sick and died, that was the wrong choice to make. If they lived, then he was okay. He was watching other human beings. In a very real sense, he was like us. He was like an audience watching a drama unfold before him. He was watching their choices, their decision, their result. He knew the problem, he knew the ending, but he wanted to know what were the choices, the decision, the result. Millions of years later, man went from being an individual to a member of a tribe. But even then, there were no words and no language to communicate. But early in communication was visual, and evolution gave mankind a gift. It gave them the gift of facial expressions. To communicate with others and to find out what they were thinking, without words, without language, mankind was able to use facial expressions. And there were 7 of them. There's 7 today throughout the world. Everybody knows these facial expressions. From early man, they helped him survive. Fear, anger, surprise, disgust told him to beware. There could be danger. Joy, sadness and contempt helped the group harmony. They knew that if you were joyous or sad, you were a member of community and people would help you. But if you disobeyed the rules and the culture of that organization, they would show contempt and probably kick you out. From visual to verbal, this took thousands and millions of years. Man finally was able to pronounce words and create a language. He was able to communicate. From going from a small tribe to a huge society, mankind was able to use these words to expand his experiences and those of others. Words expanded our knowledge, and the knowledge increased our skills and creativity, which expanded our knowledge. Evolution gave us two other gifts. First of all, imagination. We could for the first time see in the future, reflect on the past. We could compare either. It gave us the gift of empathy, where if we saw somebody riding a bike, for instance, we ourselves could experience the same exhilaration of riding a bike. Went even further. When words were combined with imagination and empathy, we could get the same exhilaration in the reader's and listener's mind. Speakers could use words to describe the experience, and writers could use the words to describe the experience. If the speaker or writer used words to describe an action, for instance, driving dangerously, those words would create in our listener's mind the same experience. Words could create experiences. So while we knew the problem and we could guess the ending, it was the choices, the decision and the result that made the story exciting. It was the why and the how, the action, that made the story exciting. We want the reader to know what happened next, what happened then, what happened later. We want them to know what the choices were, what the decision was, and what the result was. That is the essence of a great story. The problems are the same. People losing their homes, people losing their jobs, relationships ending. But it's the choices and the decisions and the results that the people in those situations made, and the words used for us as speakers and writers that make the audience interested in what we have to say. The brain loves stories where the problem has choices, decisions, and results. So in summary, mankind for millions of years has faced choices, decisions, and results. When he was with others, he would watch others make choices, decisions, and results. And today we have the wonderful gift of words, the gift of imagination, and the gift of empathy, where we can use words to tell others about an experience and let them experience it through our choices, our decisions, and the results we decide upon. Choices, decisions, and results make for a great story. Thank you for listening, and I hope this has helped you with your conflict situations, which I would like to describe as the struggle.